Hi and welcome back to my channel. So like I had promised last week that we would discuss pronunciation in more detail and talk about what syllable stress is and how syllable stress leads to correct pronunciation. We'll talk about what syllables are, what syllable stress is, and how it's needed for correct pronunciation. So let's get started. So first of all, let's understand what syllables are. So you can take a word and break it up into syllables depending on what the word sounds like. So we can also say that the number of syllables in a word would be equal to the number of vowel sounds in a word. The reason why I'm saying vowel sounds and not vowels is because sometimes there can be multiple vowels, or let's say two vowels in one sound. For example, if I say hour, H-O-U-R, it has two vowels but it has one vowel sound, so we would still consider that as one syllable because the vowel sound is like hour, which is the hour sound, which is one vowel sound. So we will only consider the number of vowel sounds in a word and not the number of vowels. So the number of vowel sounds in a word equals to the number of syllables in that word. This is the general rule or the general pattern that syllables follow, but let's look at some examples. So let's look at some examples of syllables. So some words can be monosyllabic, which means that it has only one syllable and the word cannot be broken up further into syllables. So an example of a monosyllabic word would be car. So when I say car, it just has one sound, ah, and that's why we can't break it up further. The other example would be music. So when I say music, it has two vowel sounds and I can say mu-sick. So this would have two syllables, mu and sick. Then I can take an example like politics. When I say politics, I can break it up like politics. Then apart from this, I can take a word like organization. When I take a word like organization, I can break it up like organization. So this is how we break up words into syllables. The first step is to realize how many syllables there are in a word, and then we can identify where we should stress within that word for syllable stress to work. So the way syllable stress works is that if you stress on the wrong syllable within a word, the pronunciation would be incorrect, and if you stress on the right syllable within that word, then the pronunciation is correct. I have spoken about this before and I have talked about how some words are mispronounced. One word that is mispronounced by many people is the word opportunity, and a lot of people end up pronouncing it as opportunity or opportunity. So the reason why the pronunciation is wrong is because they are stressing on the wrong syllable, which is a por. So they're stressing on por. When you stress on por, it sounds like opportunity. However, if you stress on the right part, which is opportunity, then the pronunciation would be correct. So here we would be stressing on tu, and if you stress on the right part, which is tu, then you would pronounce it as opportunity. Now let's take some of the words that we had discussed before when we were breaking the words into syllables and decide where the syllable stress is. So if I take the word car, like I said, it's monosyllabic, so we don't have to break it up further and the syllable stress would be on the entire word, so it would remain as car. Then if we look at music, generally when a word is that small, generally speaking, the syllable stress is on the first syllable, and that's why the word would be pronounced as music, music. Then if we look at the word politics, then we would stress on the syllable pa and we'll say politics. Then we look at the word organization. Here we stress on the syllable ze, and that's why we say organization. So this is how we stress on the correct syllables in a word. However, a lot of people ask me, how is it that we decide which syllable to stress on? Because there are so many words. We obviously can't decide for every word. There can't be a rule for every word. as to how to pronounce it. There are certain guidelines that help you with syllable stress and to understand the pattern of how to apply the stress within a word, but I would not be able to cover those guidelines here because there are quite a lot of them. But the best way to do it is to practice, and as you understand how syllables work and how syllable stress works, then slowly you will pick it up and learn how to apply stress on the right syllable and pronounce the word correctly. And the last tip that I would share with you, which is a tip that I have shared before, is to consult online dictionaries. I personally prefer Cambridge Dictionary when I have to look up a word or the pronunciation of a word. So what you can do is you can simply Google a word and go on to Cambridge Dictionary or Oxford or Merriam-Webster, and when you look at the meaning of the word, it also has a speaker icon, and when you click on that, it pronounces the word for you in British and American accent, and you can know exactly how the word is pronounced, and you can hear where the syllable stress is and which syllable they are stressing on for the correct pronunciation. So this is something that you can try. If you are ever in doubt or if you're confused about the pronunciation of a word, I would highly recommend looking it up on the dictionary, check the online dictionary and check the correct pronunciation and correct your pronunciation. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked it, and let me know in the comments below whether you would like me to elaborate on this or talk more about syllable stress or pronunciation, or if there are any other topics that you would want me to cover. So until the next video, bye bye.